In this tutorial, we're going to cover the clerking screen. The clerking screen is where the clerk will actually enter the winning bid and the buyer for each item that's sold. To get to this page, we're going to go from our dashboard in the correct auction to clerk this auction. This screen is the Clerk tab on the accounting menu at the very top. Before you start clerking, there's something important you have to do. You have to set your auto advance. Auto advance determines what happens in the clerking grid after an item is sold. There's three different options: no, yes, and sequence. If no is selected, each lot number will have to be individually entered at the top in order to appear in the ring. If yes is selected, this is what you do when you're clerking on the fly. It brings in the next whole lot number so that you can continue clerking on the fly. If you're clerking a cataloged auction and you want the next number to automatically come in, we want to select Auto Advance Sequence. If Sequence is selected and there's an A lot or a lot sold out of order, it will automatically go to the correct lot based on the sequence you have the items in. So to review, no means automatically bringing in each lot by typing it in the top. Yes is for on-the-fly clerking, and sequence is for lots that have already been cataloged in an auction. Let's take a look at the Auto Advance feature. Currently, Auto Advance is set to no, which means each lot will have to come in individually by me typing it at the top. To start, I'm going to enter lot number 1 and hit enter. As you can see, lot number 1 now appears in the clerking grid. The next step would be to enter the winning bid and the buyer number and hit enter. Because I don't have Auto Advance set, I have to manually type in the next number at the top in order to bring that item into the ring. That's Auto Advance no. If I set Auto Advance to yes, this is a setting we're going to use when we're clerking an on-the-fly auction. So let's say this auction was on the fly. I'm going to start by entering a random starting number. This can be any number, but it will be the first lot sold in your auction. And then I enter a brief description of what it is. Seller is optional, the winning bid, and a buyer number. Because this is set to Auto Advance, when I hit enter, it's going to automatically go to 401. I can continue with this process, and each new lot number that I enter in, when I hit save, it will automatically advance to the next open lot number. That's Auto Advance yes. Auto Advance Sequence, again, is for our timed auctions, and I'm going to start by entering in a lot number. This is already cataloged, so I can enter in my winning bid and my buyer number. And when I hit enter, we can see the next lot in the catalog is automatically brought into the system. The next thing on the clerking grid is the screen at the top right-hand corner. If you're using AuctionTube and displaying photos along with your items, the clerk actually controls what's being shown on the screen based on what's in the clerking grid. To set the screen to show, we want to pick which screen we want to use and hit the play button. When the screen is showing, you'll see a pause sign because you would pause what's being shown. If the screen is paused, you see the play button. So we want to click the play button to start the screen showing. More on AuctionTube in the AuctionTube tutorial. Now that we understand Auto Advance and screen, we're ready to start our auction. To start the auction process, we're going to enter the first lot being sold at the very top where it says lots and hit the enter key. Once we do that, that lot number is in the ring, ready to be clerked. We're ready for our winning bid and our buyer number, and because Auto Advance is set to sequence, when we hit enter, the next lot is automatically brought into the ring. Now this particular item has a reserve of $500. We can see that anytime there is a reserve by looking above the description. In this case, the reserve is $500. However, we will allow you to enter any winning bid and buyer even if it's below the reserve amount. In the event that the reserve was not met, you can enter in a price if you want. It's optional, and you can click the Reserve Not Bet button. If you do that, what we'll see is it's recorded as reserve not met. If you have a house number, you could also enter that house number in as the buyer, and that item will not be saved as having been sold. it'll be saved as reserve not met. Pass is very similar to reserve not met. The only difference is it's treated differently in your seller settlements. So if you had an item that failed to get a starting bid and was passed, clicking the pass button will cause the same thing to happen. It'll get recorded without a winning bid or a buyer because the item itself was passed. But now we're on to lot number 4, and if you have quantities of one and you sell one lot at a time, this is the entire clerking process. I'm going to enter in my winning bid, say $50, and my buyer number, and I'm going to hit enter. Next lot are already in, ready to go. I'm going to enter my winning bid and my buyer number, and this process will continue throughout the day. Now, this particular item has a quantity. In this case, we have a quantity of 3, and when we have quantity, we have the ability to choose times the money or selling as a lot. We can pick whichever one we want just by clicking on it up here in the top left-hand side. If we sell it by the lot, it's 1 money for all 3. If we sell it times the money, it's 3 times the winning bid that's entered. So in this case, we'll sell it as a lot, and the winning bid is $100. And when I click save, we can see at the bottom that it was the sale type was a lot and the quantity purchased was 3. So the winning bid on their invoice is just going to be $100 because all 3 were sold in a lot. And this process continues throughout the entire auction as you proceed with your catalog. It's that simple and straightforward. Now, let's say you wanted to get rid of a lot. The lot was removed from the auction. You can simply click the X, and that will remove the lot. Once you do that, you can enter in the next item number that you want to sell, and that item will automatically come into the ring. So anytime you need to enter in a new lot number, you can do so right at the top of the web page. And that's the basic, simple way to clerk a cataloged auction. Now we're going to cover some of the more advanced features you can do in the clerking grid. The next lot I'm going to bring in is a quantity of 10 with a quantity purchased of 10. If you want to break up the quantity, we can simply click the pencil to edit the lot and change the quantity purchased to however many the person wants to buy. Let's say they buy 2. The winning bid is 100 and the buyer is buyer number 300. When I click enter, this lot is going to stay in the ring because there's still a quantity remaining. Now the next quantity available for purchase is 8. Let's say the next buyer takes 5 of them and the winning bid is still 100. This is just a handout and the buyer is 200. Once again, this lot stays in the ring because there's still a quantity remaining to be sold. Winning bid 100 and this time the buyer takes the rest of them. Once the quantity is exhausted, it moves on automatically to the next lot. Now, if you want to offer more than one lot at a time, you can do so by entering an additional lot number at the top, even with a lot in the ring. When I hit enter, we can now see that lot 11 and 12 are in the ring at the same time. I can also do dashes or through. So if I wanted to say 13 through 14, or 13 through 15, when I hit enter, those lots will also be automatically brought into the ring. Now that we have multiple items in the ring, we have different options that's available. We can sell choice, take whichever item you want. We can sell order, which means you have to take them in lot order, or we can sell them as a group. With multiple items in the ring, you're going to enter your selling price and your buyer at the top of the page. And I'll show you why in just a second. We can also sell it times the quantity or price per lot. So given these options, there's a variety of different ways you can make items available. In this case, we're going to say choice, price per lot. And the winning bid, instead of entering it down here, we're going to do winning bid of $50, and our buyer is buyer number 2. And then the question is, which lots do they want? In this case, we're going to do 12 and 14. I'm going to hit enter once. That's going to highlight 12 and 14 as the lots that they wanted. If that's correct, I'm going to hit enter twice quickly. Enter, enter, and those lots will be cleared away. So when I go enter, enter, those lots are cleared away. Now in this case, the bidder number was not a registered bidder, so I got a warning. I'm just going to click yes, I'm sure, and as we can see, those lots went away. Now the winning bid stays in up here because there's remaining items in the ring. If we wanted to do a handout, buyer number 100, which one does he want? He wants 11. If I hit enter quickly twice, it'll clear that lot right out. Now that I have a single lot left, we can enter the final price, 100 to buyer 200, and I'm done. So to see that process again, I'm going to bring in multiple lots, and I'm this time going to choose group, one price. And when I do that, my winning bid and my bidder, hit enter twice, and as that's recorded, it was recorded as one price in a group, and only the first item records that winning bid amount. Now, if you're in the middle of an auction, let's say you just sold lot number 7, and you realize that there's an A lot, we're going to take lot 8 out of the ring and just enter lot 7A. And what you can see is it comes in as a blank lot. We can adjust the quantity, add in whatever we want, and the seller is optional. Put in the winning bid for lot 7A and the buyer number. And when we hit enter, you can see it'll go right back to lot number 8 because that's the next lot in the sequence. So to add an A lot, you can just get rid of the current lot, and in this case, we'll create lot 8A. Hit enter, and that lot comes in quickly and easily. If you need to resell a lot, you can easily bring in a lot that's already been sold just by entering that lot into the top again. So in this case, I'm going to bring in lot number 7. And we can see it already has a winning bid and a buyer, but I can change that. Let's say there was a mistake, and we can change that to 125 to buyer 300, and when I hit enter, it will resave it with the new values in place. Now that's clerking a cataloged auction. Next, we're going to show you clerking on the fly. Now to do this, I'm just going to remove this lot, and I'm going to change this auto advance to yes, and I'm going to pick a starting number for my clerking on the fly auction. In this case, I'm just going to select 900, which I happen to already use in this demo, so we'll just go to 1000, and I'm just going to clear that lot out by clicking it. Now we have lot 1000, which is going to be the first lot in our on-the-fly clerking journey here. The only thing that's different with on-the-fly versus a cataloged auction is we have to put in the title and description and seller if we have multiple sellers in the sale. So I can adjust the quantity. Let's say we do a quantity of 6 and we're selling trees, and I'm selling them times the money. I've got a winning bid of 100. The buyer takes a quantity of 6, and when I click save, it's going to take me to a new lot, in this case 1001, and now I'm selling nuts, and the winning bid is $25, and I continue with my clerking endeavor. So clerking on the fly, you can also have multiple quantities and do a handout. If I'm going to say, let's change our quantity here to 15, and say we have melons. Whoops. We can sell however many we want. Let's say the first person takes 3 for $10 each, and there's our winning bid. Now we have 12 left. The next person takes 3 for $10. And the next person takes 5 for $10, etc., until all the items are indeed sold. Now you can change it, re-offer it up again, or change it to a lot. Whatever's going to get the best return for your money. Let's say the final winning bid is $8 each, and that goes to buyer 100. And once the quantity is exhausted, we are ready for our next item in the ring. That was a quick overview of the clerking screen in the system. Like anything new, practice is going to be the key to making sure it works for you when you need it the most. We recommend that people find their favorite simulcast bidding platform and log in as a guest to any auction. From there, you can listen to the auctioneer and practice clerking the auction so you can get familiar with the system and how it's going to work. We recommend you do this for at least half an hour prior to the first time you use the system in an actual auction.